The 19th century designer, poet and entrepreneur William Morris is one of the best guides we have to the modern economy, despite the fact that he died while Queen Victoria was still on the throne, never made a telephone call, and would have found the very idea of TV utterly baffling. Morris was the first person to understand two issues which have become decisive for our times. Firstly, the role of pleasure in work, and secondly, the nature of consumer demand. William Morris was born in 1834 into a well-off English family. After graduating, he spent some time training as an architect, but at this stage a conventional career wasn't his main concern. He saw himself as an artist and a poet. He was simply interested in making things for his own satisfaction and maybe for the enjoyment of a few friends. A year after he married his favourite actress and model, Morris became obsessed with the project of building and furnishing a family home at Bexley Heath in southeast London. It was called the Red House, and pretty much everything in it was designed from scratch, either by Morris himself or by his close friend and architectural collaborator Philip Webb. The experience of building and fitting out his house taught Morris his first big lesson about the economy. It would have been simpler and maybe cheaper to have ordered everything from a factory outlet, but Morris wasn't trying to find the quickest or simplest way to set up home. He wanted to find the way that would give him and everyone involved in the project maximum satisfaction. This process fired Morris with an enthusiasm for the medieval idea of craft. The worker would develop sensitivity and skill and enjoy the labour. It wasn't to be mechanical or humiliating. He spotted that craft offers important clues to what we actually want from work. We want to know we've done something good with the day, that our efforts have counted towards tangible outcomes that we actually see and feel are worthwhile. Labour can be dignified. It was a timely insight. This was an era of massive industrialisation, and the conditions were often horrendous. Morris was determined to show that the principles of craft and of satisfying work for the worker could and should be at the heart of the modern world, and that, he realised, meant making them into a business. So in 1861, still in his mid-20s, Morris started a decorative arts business, Morris, Marshall, Faulkner & Co., which they like to call simply the firm. His colleagues included Burne-Jones, the brilliant poet, painter and charismatic personality Dante Gabriel Rossetti, and the architect Philip Webb. They set up a factory making wallpaper, chairs, curtains and tables. They were very proud not only of the elegant designs, but of the quality of the workmanship that went into all their products. But the firm soon encountered a very instructive problem. The factories and machines of the Industrial Revolution had brought about mass production. If you ask a comparatively high price to ensure the dignity of work and quality of materials, and so make something that will last, you really risk losing customers. Surely the logic of economics dictates that the lower price will always necessarily win, or does it? For Morris, the key factor is whether customers are willing to pay what he called the just price. If they are, then work can be honourable. If they're not, then work is necessarily going to be, on the whole, degrading and miserable. So, Morris concluded that the linchpin of a good economy is the education of the consumer. We collectively need to get clearer about what we really want in our lives and why, and how much certain things are going to be worth to us. Until we have better collective taste, we're going to struggle to have a better economy and society. It's a huge idea. An important clue to good consumption, Morris insisted, is that you should have nothing in your houses that you don't know to be useful or believe to be beautiful. It's not an invitation to bleak renunciation. Morris wasn't trying to make anyone feel guilty or ashamed. He wished for people to see their purchases as investments and buy items sparingly. He would have preferred for someone to spend a great deal on an intricate, handmade dining set that would last for decades and grow to become a family heirloom than for each generation to buy its own cheap alternative just to be thrown away when fashions changed. For Morris himself, his business didn't work out terribly well. There was healthy demand from the well-to-do. The Morris lines of furniture, wallpaper, fabrics and lamps continued to sell for many years and still do. But he didn't manage to break into the wider, bigger markets that he aspired to. He died in 1896 of tuberculosis. Still, we should remember him because he directs our attention to a set of centrally important tests that a good economy should pass. How much do people enjoy working? How long are consumer goods expected to last? Are the cities beautiful, generally, not just in a few privileged parts? The economy can, with fatal ease, feel as if it's governed by abstract, complex laws. Morris's point is that, nevertheless, the economy is intimately tethered to our preferences and choices. It may not be necessary to bring factories, banks and corporations into public ownership, and it may not be necessary to wind back government impact on markets. The true task in creating a good economy, Mۆریس shows us, lies much closer to home, in our own homes.